Hello everyone and welcome to FindlayTV, brought to you by Findlay Toyota Prescott. In this episode we have a very special guest. He's the GM of Findlay Toyota Prescott, Mr. Jamaal McCoy. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing well. How are you, Greg?
I'm very well. Thanks for coming down.
Thanks for
I know you're super busy, but thanks for coming and seeing us here on FindlayTV.
Of course.
So we've got some questions here for you to get to know the real McCoy.
All right.
See what I did?
That was fun.
It was good. So what was your first car?
The first car was a 1970 Chevrolet Chevelle with inky mag wheels on it.
Inky mag wheels.
Inky mag wheels.
Right, I have to look that out. Is that an American thing?
Of course.
Okay, good. Just checking. Yeah. So was it the SS Chevelle?
It was the 307. It was not the SS.
Right.
SS is trouble, so I did the non-SS.
Okay, yeah. All right. So window tint?
No window tint.
All right, come on. There's got to be something else because I mean I know you fairly well. Yeah. I didn't picture you being in a Chevelle, so well you must have had something else on it.
Well, I mean I love the car. I love the Chevelle. I grew up around cars. My dad had muscle cars, so that was a natural fit. But I did have a few speakers in it, and a few amps, and radio and.
12-inch subs in the back, right?
12-inch subs, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, we put them in the box,
Yeah, you do it all properly, don't mess around, just do it, right.
I have fuzzy dice too, so I had some fuzzy dice.
Did you have fuzzy dice? That's awesome. See, I'm learning new things about you already. So who was Jamaal McCoy growing up? Give us some of your background.
Born on a military base in Germany. Traveled around. Obviously, my father was military, lived on multiple different installations, multiple different states. I've lived on almost every corner of this country, except for the Northwest. So I traveled a lot. I was fortunate enough to go back to Europe twice, after being born there and living in Germany on two separate occasions. And, I got to see a lot of the world, a lot of the country, and, was structured, having a warrant officer as a father, very disciplined. But, it was a blessing for me. So that things were good. Large family on both my mom and father's side, and spent a lot of time, with the family when I was back stateside. So, I had a unique childhood.
Sounds unique, yeah. I mean, obviously being, former military myself, you get those. Do you still call them army brats over here? Yeah,
I'm an army brat.
Yeah, army brats. So they would but some of the things they've seen and where they've been, blows your mind.
I have lots of stories, but
I can imagine. Well, someday we might even get them out on FindlayTV. So quick fire round then. Mm-hmm. Okay, you got to pick one.
Okay.
One's got to stay. One's got to go. Burgers or pizza?
Turkey burger.
Turkey burger. All right. Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
Good. So supercars or muscle cars?
Muscle cars.
All right. Basketball or football?
Oh, so growing up, I played a lot of basketball. It was the first sport I played. That was my first love. I had all the posters, Jordan, Isaiah Thomas, Magic, Kareem. I had all the posters on my wall. When I got a little bigger and taller and wider, people said, well, you probably should play football. Mm-hmm. And I was a much better football player than basketball player. Not saying I wasn't a bad basketball player.
Okay, right.
I was pretty good at football. And football paid the bills. Mm-hmm. So that one's a tough one because football hurt a lot, So
yeah,
that's why I'm here.
I've seen it. Yeah,
so I'm going to pick basketball.
All right, so basketball's staying, football's got to go. That's a tough choice, I'd imagine. Okay, music or movies?
Music.
Without there's nothing, just music all the way.
Yeah.
Musical background?
A little bit. I might have played an instrument or two in my life.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So on to the real deep questions. What got you into the auto industry?
Well, after the second time I hurt my knee, I decided, I wanted to, do something else, and walking was important to me. So, I kind of went through the paper and looked for opportunities, and saw an ad that said, "Drive this, sell these, make this." I said, "Yeah, I like all three of those." So I'm good. So
money, cars, and walking.
Yeah,
I like it.
Yes. So I went down and applied, and kind of the rest was history. I've always been, like I said earlier, a car guy, and I felt like I could interact with people well enough to, maybe sell something. So it was a good fit.
Excellent. Yeah. So what are the common misconceptions that surround the auto industry, and how is Findlay different? It's quite an expansive question, but
yeah. So that's a tough one. I mean, obviously, any movie you see and you talk about a used car salesman, you know, they have these loud plaid suits on and too much gold, and you know, they have this certain persona, and that's not necessarily the case. Maybe it was 20, 30, 40 years ago, but not now. And you know, that our main objective is to, you know, make money at all costs, you know, and we enjoy negotiating, and everything is overpriced, and we really don't care about people. It's just more about the dollar, you know, and for me, that it couldn't be further from the truth. Are there dealerships out there like that? Possibly, you know, but that's why I have been with Findlay for over 20 years. I started with a different organization, and it didn't take me long to figure out I don't want to sell cars that way, and I don't want to be involved with an organization like that. So that's where, you know, the transition to Findlay went, you know, and I think as far as things being overpriced, you know, like service and things of that nature, well, it's not necessarily the case. You know, you get factory components, you got factory trained technicians, and there's value there. You know, and obviously the biggest misconception is people think that, you know, we make, you know, $5,000, $10,000 every time we sell a vehicle. You know, which isn't the case.
It's definitely not the case.
It's nowhere close to being that. Yeah. But you know, as far as how Findlay is different, you know, with us, and what attracted me to Findlay was that they put people first. You know, the first time I interviewed at a Findlay dealership 20-something years ago, I could tell it was different. You know, it's family owned, family operated. You know, they talked about what are your goals, what are your aspirations, what can you give back, you know, what are you looking for in your job. And most time you're in an interview, they don't ask you that. They don't ask you what you're looking for in your job. They tell you everything good about what they have to offer. They don't try to find out about you. You know, so Findlay, you know, we care about our employees. You know, for us, employee satisfaction is number one. You know, if our employees are satisfied and taken care of, then they'll take care of our guests naturally. And naturally, if that happens, then all the revenue we need and profits or whatever will come into play. So I think that's how Findlay different, is that the person is put first, you know, and we care about the community and get involved in the community, and we make sure that we are more than just writing checks, you know, it's that actual involvement in the community and making a difference, and that's how we're different.
Excellent. What advice would you give to people starting a career in the auto industry? First, you know, maybe they've worked in sales before, maybe they've worked in a completely, you know, non-sales environment. Someone new looking at Findlay after seeing, you know, how we take care of people and we take care of our team, and they're thinking, I want to work there. What's the, you know, what is the biggest piece of advice you would give to a brand new salesperson?
Well, the first thing is, you know, sky's the limit, you know, in the automotive industry, and the automotive industry is very misunderstood, and there's a lot of opportunity, you know. So when I sit down and interview someone, that's the first thing I ask them. What are your goals? If they, you know, indicate, well, I just want to make enough money this summer to pay some bills, then obviously that's a red flag for me. But if you treat this opportunity as a career, and you set goals for yourself, you know, there is a ton that is available to you, and there's a world that, you know, most people don't get to see, you know, available to you in the automotive industry. So I guess to answer your question, I would say treat it as a career, and find something that, you know, is important to you, and that you feel as value, and work hard towards it, you know, and as long as you have that drive, you know, you can be successful in this industry.
Yeah. Okay, so many people know, many people don't, that there's certain steps in career progression within the auto industry, and it generally kind of follows the same, obviously, follows the same track. What was the hardest transition? Because obviously you started as a salesman, you know, straight on the floor, selling cars, and then you've worked your way right the way up to GM. What was the hardest transition through your career?
As far as through positions?
Yeah.
You know, really, I would say this one.
Really?
You know, being here in Prescott, you know, I oversee, you know, multiple locations and multiple stores and multiple departments, and you know, that's been the toughest transition, because, you know, my leadership style, I prefer to be involved and prefer to be around and be amongst the troops and, be there, every day when they need me and, roll my sleeves up and do whatever needs to be done. And that's the hardest thing. I hate sitting in my office, but unfortunately with what I have to do now, I'm in there a lot, and that's not the preferred method of work for me,
Yeah.
So.
Well, I can certainly attest to that. I remember when it snowed last time, and me and you were out there taking snow off the roofs of cars, and that was amazing. Just because, but other people were looking at me saying like, "That's the GM." I'm like, "Yeah, that's what he does. He just does everything." So it was great. What are your top leadership strategies, would you say? Obviously you're the GM of like you say, multiple locations. You've got so many departments to worry about, massively different personalities as there is in all sort of sales and in every workplace. What are your top strategies for dealing with that many people, that many locations, and with obviously all the responsibility you have? What are your top leadership strategies?
Well, I mean, to be able to lead, you first have to find the right people, so it starts with the people. If you don't have the right people in place, then you're not really leading, you're managing, and you're doing a lot of bossing. I don't want to boss, I want to lead and set plans and have people execute that plan. So the first step is finding the right people, finding the right people, empowering those people, training those people, supporting those people, and allowing them to do their job and kind of sit back and watch, the magic happen. If there's missteps, then you coach on those missteps and you help people, become better. But showing appreciation for your team and your leaders is also important. So if you're asking my top strategies is one, finding the right people, supporting those people, investing in those people, empowering those people, and for me, it's important that everyone on my team from, the lowest level position to myself is that the number one focus should be on giving. It shouldn't be on receiving. If you focus on receiving, then you only can get what someone gives you. But if you're constantly focused on giving, you'll get more in return. So if you give more, in value than you take at payment, things start to multiply at that point.
Awesome. What has been your biggest professional achievement, and what has been your biggest personal achievement?
My biggest professional achievement has zero to do with me. My biggest professional achievement, what I take most pride in, is that at this point I have 5 people who worked for me at some point who are now general managers, who I've trained and developed and coached, and they now have the opportunity to lead and run their own stores. And that's my biggest professional achievement. That's what makes me the happiest, is seeing other people grow.
So these are people that have worked under you at some point, and now they're out managing their own stores, doing the job that you're doing here in Prescott, but in different locations.
Correct.
And do they still call you for advice?
They do.
Yeah.
And it's funny because they all have their own stores and they still call me boss.
Really?
Yeah. They say, boss, they ask questions about this, and every single one of them was service. Every single one of them I hired as a salesperson. So they sat in front of me and I interviewed them at one point, which is pretty cool.
At the time you were like a sales manager, or were you a GM with all of them, or were you sort of GSM, or?
All of the above. So some people I hired as a sales manager, some as a GSM, one when I was a finance director, and a couple as I was a GM.
Wow.
But along the different levels of my progression, finding people who at one day I thought had that ability to be a GM.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Personal achievement, biggest personal achievement?
Once again, nothing to do with me. My biggest personal achievement is, every day I go home to my 12-year-old little girl, and getting to see, the smile on her face and the young lady she's become, and, who she is. I mean, that I get satisfaction out of, is watching her grow. And that's my personal achievement.
Excellent. Yeah. Outside your career, right? Forget pushing aside the auto industry. What is your true passion in life? Like what are your passions, other passions, should I say?
Right. Well, at some point I want to sleep. But my passions in life would be, is my faith, my family, my friends, fitness, I love working out. I've seen you at the gym a couple times when the gym was open.
When it was open.
Yeah. You didn't stay very long, but I saw you there.
Well, that stuff's heavy. They say you have to pick it up and push it. I'm like, I'm tired. Like, that's hard to do, so I just give up. It's fine.
I understand. Yeah. But those are my passions, man. My family, my faith, my friends, staying in some type of shape, fitness. So it's good.
Yeah, excellent. Big question now, and I think this is going to be a question that I'd like to ask everyone who comes onto the Findlay TV. What is your why? Why does Jamaal McCoy do what he does every day? What is your why?
Well, that's tiered. The why starts at home. Once again, kissing my daughter before I leave. That's number one. Showing her that anything is possible with some drive, dedication, determination, and commitment. And that you can do whatever you want. There's plenty of obstacles out there for everybody, and there's plenty of obstacles that I, have to jump over to get where I'm at. And there's no excuses. You can do whatever you put your mind to, as long as you work hard. So my why is being a good representation for her. As a man, as a father, as a person. And I strive towards that every day. And the other part of it is, as I told you before, is the only reason I'm really in Prescott is to give other people an opportunity, so I was very comfortable before, but it wasn't about me being comfortable. It was about, watching other people grow and seeing people achieve things that they thought maybe was not possible. I have a couple people who were in those positions I told you about before who never thought that they could be half of what they were, and supporting people and encourage them to achieve the most that they can and be the best version of themselves, I get a kick out of that. I enjoy that.
Yeah, I mean, it's so different from, I think, what most people have come to expect from their leadership, or in different different areas of work. But it's certainly a pleasure to work with you, Mr. McCoy. So I see what you do every day, and I see how you energize the team, and I think it's just great. So on that note, I'd like to say thank you very much, Mr. McCoy, for coming in, being on Findlay TV, and hopefully we'll see you again.
Sure.
All right, so check us out on obviously Findlay TV on YouTube. You can look also on FindlayToyotaPrescott.com and also signalsaz.com. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again soon.